Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. We're not doing a regular weekly like we do every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're just jumping up and doing pop-up. I've been healthy and stuff, and I've constantly been sick the last couple of months or sleeping. So it's been kind of hard just doing all this video content that you usually see me do on these different apps. But we're here. We're doing it. We're talking. This is U.S. immigration. To take your questions live about your case potentially, just talk not case specific information is different for every kind of case, but just general idea of what's going on in this U.S. immigration system. It's a very confusing system that we have for sure. I agree with that. But if you want to contact us directly, go to our website, jqqlaw.com/contact, jqqlaw.com/contact. And what I really recommend doing, especially if you're going to do a family case, like a marriage-based case, we have the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And that's where you could, learn a lot about the process before you even talk with an attorney. And that way, you can know information before talking with a lawyer. So you can ask good questions. If you consult with a lawyer, you can tell if they know what they're talking about or not, because the forms and names and stuff. You get a feeling. At the end of the day, is people perish for lack of knowledge, as they say. So you really want to have understanding and knowledge beforehand going into it, so that you can ask good questions, and the lawyer can't get away with some stuff that you don't expect, and you can tell which person knows what they're talking about or not. So study up. At the end of the day, you got to watch out for yourself. Number one, lawyers going to help. They get paid. They have contracts, all that kind of stuff. But things happen. So you want to take care of yourself. And that's what you're here for. Give the basic information. Then if you did want to work with us, you know what kind of person, people we are, what kind of culture we have. It's all about two things: speed and quality. Obviously, the lawyer needs to know what they're doing, but speed and quality is our focus, and that's what we have to do. Turk asks, how do I typically okay with it? So we're back on YouTube. Sorry, everybody. Reflex G, the boss, says my case takes long. What's happening? You just gotta wait. NG asks, some embassies are not scheduling interviews for diversity visa. What is really the problem? No one knows. There's lawsuits about this, but we're in the dark. Okay, Rico, can you be lucky for I-130 come in 1 year? Yeah, that's possible. It come in 3 months. I've seen it come in 2 weeks. Molly say, any way to expedite I-130 for siblings? There's no way to expedite the I-130. It's not a wise idea to expedite an I-130 for a sibling, because if you have nieces and nephews, you want the I-130 to take as long as possible, because you could deduct the age of the child, based on the number, how long it took for the I-130 to be approved. The real timeline for a sibling, brother or sister F4 preference category is like 15, 20 years or something like that. And there's no legal way to expedite that because this just depends on how many green cards are available every year for that category. So again, you don't want to expedite an I-130 for a sibling. That's better you don't. It is the unique thing about immigration. I bet a lot of people wouldn't think that or just know it, but based on how the rules are made, that it's not something you want to do. Alba says, can you get an interview day for my kids in Ghana, Africa? If you have a case, I mean, it's not me. Embassy has to give it that. That's up to them. Leo says, got my advanced parole card with my married last name, and password maiden name. Could it be a problem? No. When you travel, use the name on your passport. When you're re-entering the United States, have your marriage certificate to show the name change or other name change document you have with the passport so they can identify the advanced parole is from you. It's a potential that the airline agent that's letting you into the United States or giving you your ticket might not understand the situation, and then they might have hassle. But if they go to a supervisor and stuff, they should be able to tell that this is your name. It's not a big deal. Let's switch off to Instagram really quick, which actually, no, let's restart Instagram. Oh, geez, why does this look like that? All right, we got to redo the Instagram people's stuff, edits, this, Please hang on with me. Okay, I'm back on Instagram. Never mind. I can keep it going. All right. So Ben asks, I sent my adjustment of status to Tempe, Arizona. It's almost 1 month I received. Is that normal? No, it's not normal nowadays. I mean, 1 month's possible. I don't know. Where are you living that it went to Tempe, Arizona? That's not where I usually send it. I usually send it to Chicago, but it just might be. Is proved. It depends on when the embassy that you have has time to schedule an interview. So there's no fixed time as to when the embassy is going to schedule an interview. Sorry, I'm not sure why my internet's being bad. It's just very frustrating. Everything is freezing. I try to do some stuff, but okay. Instagram, we're going to be back in a second. It's crazy. Masa says, I had an interview and the day after they asked for the same document they already have. Yeah, that's the government. When are they going to give a decision? No, who knows? Celine says, why would they send a case to fraud unit? Because they assume there's fraud involved. I mean, yes, that's it. UK says, how long does it take for an expedited request to be approved or denied at the NBC? Really a couple of days, but sometimes they completely forget about it. Joey says, Trump will change everything. Biden trying to buy votes, nothing more. Sure. UK says, how long does it take to expedite requests to be approved or denied? Or answer that. They ask for my passport. They ask for, you got to get what they want. Shuchanik asks, hi, John. My priority date is current and DQ in 2022. Recently, NBC asked for my police clearance, which I uploaded today. Does that mean I'll receive it IL soon? My interview is Montreal. Probably, but who knows? And Montreal is like really backed up. So you never know what they're doing until they do it. So just, I can't really guess. Sean Z says, can you marry someone who is a green card holder as someone who doesn't have legal status in the U.S.? You can marry them, but adjustment of status is going to have an issue if you don't have legal status. They got to be a citizen, and you must have entered lawfully in some way. So it gets complicated. It's best schedule a consultation with the attorney. Jabion says, if I haven't received my Social Security, can I register for selective service in USPS without it? That's a selective service, not pure immigration. I can't really comment on that. Arvon says, does overstaying a visa as a minor count as legal entry to be able to apply for residency? Overstaying is overstaying. Legal entry, legal admission, or parole is something else. So the question doesn't, it's like saying apples and oranges. And then for applying for residency, it depends on what you're applying for. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, overstaying by itself, if you end off is not necessarily a problem. But if it's a category for your spouse, a green card holder, then it is. So, Arvandi, download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com first to check that out. And then schedule a private consultation, jqqlaw.com/contact. Nima says, do we still have to take code vaccine or medical exam? Unfortunately, most places, yes. He says, if married U.S. citizen September 2021, still married when you file citizen. When can you file for citizenship? U.S. citizenship based on when you got your green card. So just because you got married, that doesn't have a correlate with like you can file for citizenship. UK says, how does it take? Okay, answer that question. Welcome, Leo. Rico says, can I submit my medical after submitting my paperwork? I have to wait. You can do with the application or afterwards. Either one is fine. What's the first step you suggest to complete to ask for legal status from mom? I'm naturalized. The first steps to complete, we got to review your case to see if your mom even has a valid case. I mean, there's no steps if she's not able to get status. So first and foremost, we got to see what her situation is. Schedule a private consultation, jqqlaw.com/contact, jqqlaw.com/contact. UK says, how does it take? Okay, I'm going to mute you. You asked the question way too many times. Mute account. Okay. Nini says, is it hard to do a follow to join? I just got a green card. Where was that? See, when you mute somebody, it just like pushes it away so you can't read what's going on. Is it hard to follow? I just got your green card approved. It's not hard. You just tell them, but just could take longer potentially. Depends on what kind of follow to join it is. P said, Lucas Becca. The Sia Nima says, do we stop take our answer that? Can Xfinity is goaded? I don't know if there's. Can a child file for a waiver based on inadmissibility to talk as of medical reasons? That's too. I got to see what's going on there. We already answered that. How much is a consultation? Between $250 to $325, depending on which attorney you want to speak with and what the issue is. Javion says, I haven't received. Okay, answer that question. So getting a lot of repeats is typical on TikTok. If you do repeats, I'm just not going to answer it, or I'm going to mute your. So please don't do that because it makes it harder to keep up what's going on. Snaps on Instagram asks, I applied for I-130 for my spouse, June 2023, still not approved. Can I apply for a K3 non-immigrant visa for my spouse as a citizen? You could apply. It's froze again on Instagram. I mean, you could apply for K3. It's probably not going to do anything. If you applied for your I-130 June 2023, it's probably a waste of time, but you give it a shot. Sandy said, I thought it was about 2 months before you get your interview. There's no fixed time zone. It depends on the embassy in your case. Valsarian says, what if USCIS broke its own policy for the SBA age lockout and wrongfully denied it? Then you got to challenge the denial. That happens all the time, unfortunately. Michelle Reagan says, I'm a citizen. How quickly can my husband get his green card? Over 10 years married. It depends on where your husband is, what background he has, what criminal history or other inadmissibility issues he has, how your finances are, which embassy he's going to deal with, what city he's in. So it could be 3 months. It could be 5 years. Javion says, I haven't received. I answered that again. Javion, say that one more time. We got a bunch of repeats. I don't want to mute you all because it's too much of a hassle to do that. Please stop asking the same question. Every question gets answered. I don't not answer everything. So if you don't pay attention, just don't keep asking the same question over again. Let's see. Hi, 15 days after sent RFE response. There's no normal time for RFE response. Can it answer that? I'm an national student. Can I file for DV lottery? Sure, if your country is a part of the list, yeah. Do lawyers have the power to cancel individual hearings? I'm scared my lawyer will do that. I mean, they could request rescheduling, but if you don't trust your lawyer, you should get a new lawyer and have them replace it. I mean, if you're saying something like that, then you need to get new representation or fire the person. Lenny says, I adopted. Do I have any rights to support or sponsor my mom or siblings? It depends on how the case worked out. Mom may not be possible. We got to see what the background of the case is. So okay. Paul says, I sent my info 100. When should you expect interview date? Whenever they get around to it. At God is good. Well, okay, let's see. For the third time, case is being accurately reviewed by you. So going on. These communications, USCIs try to create all these systems to kind of give you an estimate how long things are taking or what's going on in your case. But most of the time it's worthless. So don't even think about it, worry about it. U.S. employer going out for employment. I live outside the U.S. Okay, they got to go through the perm process. It could take a while, many years probably. Husband on DACA, I want 30 I says, how much longer for group? I don't know. It's going to be how long it take. Beyond says, please answer this. Answer what, Beyond? He didn't answer the question. He says, what's the first step you suggest to complete legal status for mom? I already answered that. Thank you. You're welcome. speed ticket as proof of residence for 10 years, one of the first 4 years could help, but you might need personal statements. Went to church, get letters from people, went to school, get letters from them. Who knows? You just got to try to get it all together. They're usually pretty flexible about it. Hey, well, I'm still sponsored under my dad when I've married 3 or 4 years. No, if you got married, you're not in the father's case anymore, or it changes. Depends on it's too complex. Like who's filing for you? Is your father under his case that he's the beneficiary? Then who is this? Is he a citizen or green card? If he's sponsoring you, did you marry before you became a citizen? After it gets technical, so we need to have private consultation. jqklaw.com/contact for private consultation. Amy says, I'm done my interview last May. However long they take. What's your fees to a marriage green card? There's different fees depending on whether you're doing adjustment of status or consular processing, if you need waivers or not, or there's other kind of stuff. Attorney fees could range anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 on average. Zoe says 15, or answered that. Got green card May 2021. Can we file for citizenship? I don't know. It depends on your case and your background. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, potentially after 3 years. I've had a video on that, but on YouTube. What is the processing time after filing for I-64? I-64 doesn't have processing time. Depends on the basic case that you have, what that processing time is. And there are no processing times that are reliably mentioned. How long this? Okay, we're getting all the how long questions. So if you ask a question about timelines, it's impossible to say. I just did a bunch of TikToks showing like all these same cases are taking a while at different times. So can't really answer any of that. Can I file for PIP with 212? And can I leave country, come back USA? I'm married long enough. That's too complex. We got to schedule a private consultation. Can I still fix papers if I use artificial SSN to work and marry U.S. citizen? Depends on if the SSN could be considered fraud. So we have to deal with that if it was someone else's. And also if you claim to be U.S. citizen or not. That's a big problem. Did you claim to be U.S. citizen in that Social Security, in the I-9 you probably filled out? That could be very problematic. It could stop you from doing anything. I'm a citizen to file the I-130 last year, August, still showing talking usual. Don't listen to the timelines. 1 year for I-130 is really normal. It's not even as June, August, June. Yes, what is it right now? It's June, August, June. Yeah, 11, 13 months is normal. Abella said, do you know how many days it takes for green cards for fiance after filing adjustment status? I just did a TikTok today. It got approved over 3 months, but I have another one pending for 7 months. So it's all over the place. I didn't listen to you. That's why, please. I mean, God is good. If you don't trust your lawyer, then get a new lawyer. Don't even go like, if you're telling me you're afraid your lawyer is going to mess you over, then just get a new lawyer. Don't even ask a question. Christina says, I'm a DACA recipient, 25 years old, 65K salary, living documented. Parents, yeah, there's nothing you can do. You got to get individual status. Just you're making money and stuff like that. It doesn't make a difference. Cynthia says, how do you feel about the pro in place? Do you think it'll happen? I don't really like to say things that I think are going to happen or not, because we're going to see and figure it out. But it's not a reliable program. It can easily be taken off if needed, or it could be sued on. Overcook says, what is the process like for getting citizenship when a person who is DACA marries a U.S. citizen in Maryland? So we do this this is a regular case that we do, DACA people getting married. So first thing to do is to download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And then once you do that, it'll have a link to scheduling a webinar, private webinar to do for these kind of cases. It's like on Fridays at 10 a.m. So do that and then schedule a private consultation. But essentially, you need lawful entry. So either you enter with permission. If not, usually if you have a need to travel, we get travel permission, advance parole, then do adjustment of status. This new Biden situation potentially can help you. I need more details, but DACA AP route still is there. So you could potentially do that, Overcook. So definitely schedule a private consultation. How much is your fee for I-130? Depends on what kind of I-130 it is and the background and the documents involved. So schedule a private consultation. It's jqklaw.com/contact. It'll be probably $2,000 to $4,000 for one case. Mine took almost a year. Encourage a week soon. Can I apply for DV lottery? Yes, you can. Hey, my asylum got approved 1 year ago. Now, if you got asylum's been approved for a year, you should have filed already. Heidi says, how much notice does the embassy give you to make arrangements for your visa interview, including medical exam? Between 3 to 6 weeks on average. Pa says, I sent an M400. I don't know when it's going to happen. Is it true that it'll be impossible to get your citizenship after election? No, that doesn't make any sense. Chop says, so did my marriage-based green card 3 months now, no response to meeting? Means you got to wait. It's not a big deal. Empress says, thank you. It can get so discouraging and feeling helpless. That's definitely true. And that's one of the main things we do at our law firm, because we have a high touch experience, meaning we we spend a lot of time with our clients is because we not only do the legal work, but it's so stressful for people. Many, frankly, lawyers and other people don't feel like dealing with clients stressful, but we like to sit and talk with them and like just constantly encourage them so they get it. So it's almost kind of like a psychiatrist or a therapist at the side too. It's really important. That's what we help our clients. If people get really stressed out, I've been doing this for over 10 years, 10, 15 years now. And I know how much you get stressed out. So it's our job to help you, make you not feel helpless and to give you confidence and all that kind of stuff. That's our godly work that we do in this field. So definitely, hopefully, our lawyers doing that. If you know, but it can get discouraging. But if you have a good case, it's okay. It'll happen. The timelines are unfortunately not consistent, but it'll get there. Manager asks, what level of background check does USCIS count for F400? When you say levels of background check, what do you even know what levels they are? For me to say what levels they are, they just have a good case. I don't know. Boaz says my date is in bulletin. Will it help? I'm not sure what that means. So that's that. A asked if my girlfriend abuses me mentally and she's U.S. citizen, can I apply for AGWA? Sure, that's very possible. Schedule consultation, jklaw.com/contact. Diana says, a new visa bulletin rules going to expedite I-130 process. There's no new, I'm not sure what you mean by new visa bulletin rules. Anno says, sponsor my girlfriend. What kind of document? Need tourist visa. Tourist visa doesn't need sponsorship. Your girlfriend applies, and if they approve it, they approve it. Bistro says, my husband's withholding my green card. I have no copy of the I-94 expiration in September. I-94. Schedule product. I'm not sure which documents you're talking about, and we have to figure out other ways to get your documents. Darwin says, my I-130 was approved September 2023. My I-4 approved something wrong. Sometimes it takes no. Yes. As for extending, I don't know. Can't give individual guidance, but I don't know anything about your case. Mandy, good to see you. Great to hear back from you, Don Castro. Thank you. If you're watching on LinkedIn, this Mandy Fearbacher, one of the top consular officers, former consular officers, and practice immigration law with their spouse, who's also a former consular. Very good attorney to talk with. Mandy Fearbacher, thanks so much. Mandy does good prep. So for those of you, especially those of you asking about student visa interviews and sponsoring tourist visas, those kind of questions, Mandy, I wish your last name was like mine. It's hard to say and spell, but I wish I could call it out right now. Mandy F. Just if Mandy Fearbacher, Feuerbacher for everyone on TikTok. That's the person to go to for one-off consultations on like consular stuff that doesn't, it's not a, I mean, she could do the bigger case, but I keep those for myself. It's my business, but I definitely like to send them to her for these one-off stuff. That's like people are worried about consular because she's got the experience. She's been there. But we also send cases to each other. We're busy, but you know, the juicy ones, you know, we want to keep the business going. King Afghanistan says, hi, sir, my asylum case has been approved 1 year ago. Can I apply for green card? Probably. You got to review your case, but probably. Ingrid says, I'm on DACA. When can we start filing for Biden new law? Whenever, end of summer is when it goes into effect. So you got to wait. But what we're doing is if you email us, info@jqklaw.com or jqlaw.com/contact, we'll keep your email. So we'll have like, once we have more information on how exactly the program's gonna work out, we'll do a live private webinar so we can have more like intimate questions asked and answered outside of like this public scope. So that's what to do. jklaw.com/contact and just say, hey, we're one of those. Please put us on the list. Lorena says, I want to file for my dad. My mom's telling me I should be careful. What does that mean? I don't know what your mom, I don't know what she's talking about, but you know, if you want to file, schedule a private consultation. We'll talk about it and get real advice. My associate just had a consultation with somebody and they could have got a green card 20 years ago, but they were so worried after 20 years. And they finally contacted us because of the new Biden thing. Now, what the exception was here, the whole new Biden thing that's coming into place, they're talking about at the end of summer. It's creating an exception that has existed for ever since I started in this game, like at least 15 years, called parole in place for military personnel. And the guy was a veteran. So he could have done what the new Biden program was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But they were so worried about being careful and stuff, they didn't bother talking with a lawyer until this news came. They finally consulted with somebody. And it's frustrating because you're like, you know, you could have done this a long time ago. Your worries prevented you. So definitely talk with a lot of different attorneys. Schedule time with us, jqklaw.com/contact, jqklaw.com/contact. Because there's no need to be worried and guessing about stuff. Just talk with a professional and you can save yourself. So that leave it, the consultation. 20 years, they're married, living in the shadows when they could have fixed this 20 years ago. You know, it is what it is, I guess. Please don't ask if you can ask a question. Don't ask a question that says, can I ask a question? It doesn't make any sense. Joa says, what international students can do to apply for citizenship? they got to independently. It's not citizenships or green card. You have to independently. Depends on their background, maybe a national interest waiver, extraordinary ability. Maybe they marry somebody. Maybe an employer files for them. Maybe they start a small business that holds them over. Who knows? DACA husband has we already answered that question. Okay, the answer question sound record. Lon thinks his answer question is sound record. I'm not sure what that means. So I uploaded the financial support after my dad interview. How long are they going to take a review? I don't know. Usually it's pretty quick. You should contact them if it's more than a week. I-130 approved. Can they adjust status while they're visiting USA? You can't enter the United States as a visitor with the intent to adjust status. They're visiting here and they change their mind as possible, but schedule probably not. I don't prefer my manage records. There's only everything. You can assume everything. Do you ever work with notaries? Lenny says, what would be the best option to sponsor your brother if I'm adopted U.S. citizen? I got to review the case and see what's going on. How much is your fee for I-130, 485? Between $4,000 to $6,000, probably. I don't know. It depends on the case. Chop says, my marriage-based green card 3 months and no response was to meeting? That's just normal. Just got to wait. Should have got a receipt, but then just wait. Kochi says, if the heir my birth date, it's not clear what you're saying there, but you need to correct it. But you schedule private consultation because some people, it's not heir on their birth date. They have the wrong birth dates on multiple documents. That causes a lot of problems. We don't do I-5 though. You should schedule a consultation with an attorney about that. Can a Mexican national was married for 7 years to an American husband who died get a green card? Yeah, this is called a VAWA green card, and it forgives a lot of stuff. So Knitter, the homeless, unfortunately, I hope that's not the case. Schedule a private consultation. You have a 2-year deadline after death, so you need to rush it if you haven't. Gabby says, I take the bar exam next month. Any advice? Well, good luck. Study hard. And that's about it. I don't know anything on that. It's a stressful experience. One of my team members is going to take the bar next month as well. What is the success rate for TN visa? There's no answer to that but more importantly, because every case is different, it's not possible to compare success rates in these kind of stuff. Your case is your case, and the consular officer reviews your case is the consular review your case. So you just have a solid case and go forward. And it is what it is. There are different kinds of TN visas. If a management consultant, it could be harder. And so a lot of officers don't even understand it. So that's that. Lenny asks, repeat, I missed you. I said schedule private consultation so we can see what's going on. I can't look too much deep in your case here. Fatima says, can you answer my question, please? I probably answered already. I don't see it anymore. And we got, I don't know, how much more time do we have left? Cut off 3 more minutes. AI says, hey, how can we make our interview faster? I'm waiting 1 year Abu Dhabi Embassy. You can request expedite if you have a good reason for it. What are the cons for filing for a parent, for example, if they have criminal records? Well, if they have criminal records, you don't want to file the case if it's a bad case. So what you're telling me right now is, if you want real advice, we guys didn't talk. If they're a criminal, then yeah, they're going to get, it's not, if you file, you're identifying yourself and you're going to get denied anyway. So, but we need to specifically see what the records are, because sometimes the crimes aren't really bad. And so it's okay. So we got to see what's going on, Lorena. Joey says, what is the best way to sue someone on marriage fraud after you have a child with them? We don't handle lawsuits, so I don't know what to do there. Immigration lawyers don't help you with that. Sheriff says, is it safe to travel advanced parole with DUI? No, you shouldn't do that. Usually I say it's case-by-case basis, but if you have any criminal history, you should not travel with advanced parole. And you should be careful on your adjustment status case. Have answers ready for that. Go Get It says, 245 I question answered yes on accident instead of no. Will that create an issue? Yeah, it could cause a case rejection or denial potentially. If it depends on that kind of stuff, could create problems. So contact them to fix it. You look the guy from Modern Family. I've heard that before many times. My personality is somewhat like him too, so it doesn't help. How much is your fee? I already answered that. I'm a U.S. citizen. Can I help my brother who's deported? Very hard to do that. It's not impossible potentially, but we got to look into that. It's very hard. I asked it, so we can't make anything as marriage green card interview in Abu Dhabi. Those are taking 1 or 2 years in Abu Dhabi. Usually we send no cases to Abu Dhabi. If they're Iranian, we send it to Yerevan. But if you got to go Abu Dhabi, you got to have some sort of reason to expedite. Other than that, nope, unfortunately. Your business phone number, please. I'm not going to answer it. Any new client, if it's not a client, we don't answer. There's a call service that'll take your phone number and says to email us. So if you want to contact us, jqqlaw.com/contact. We only take phone, talk in one-on-one on phone or Zoom or something like that. And we only do our consultation by Zoom, but with existing clients or people who schedule consultations. And it's very important that we do by Zoom video. We have to see our clients, and it prevents fraud as well. There's a lot of people who have fake profiles of me on Facebook, on Instagram and stuff, and they do WhatsApp calls and they scam people out of money. And Facebook doesn't give it care at all, so they just let it go. And how many times I complain? So I always do video. Why is the internet being so bad? This is so annoying. Okay, 2 more questions on TikTok, and we'll call it a day. Let me see if Instagram has any. Okay, so it's 2 or 3 more on TikTok. Emmy says, how long does the spouse petition release take? A long time. Diego says, can you withdraw 45 after approval and send for production? It's about too late at that point. Is Biden's new slowing I-130s? There's no indication of that. How much does it cost to apply for parental green card visa through you? It depends on what kind of case it is, and if it's 2 parents or 1, and if there's issues with birth certificates or marriage certificates, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10,000 or something like that, or somewhere in between. My husband was detained cross-border. We don't handle deportation on cross-border cases, so I'm not a good resource for that. And the last question is, you keep asking the same question. People asking the same question over again. Okay, let's go way to the bottom because we have 100 questions. Okay. GA from marriage, pending asylum. Okay, is there any way to get a, okay, fiance on student visa, just got engaged. What is next step? Next step, GDM, is to download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Our primary type of client is a student visa holder who gets married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, and we get them green cards. That's the number one kind of case we handle. That's our focus. So you come to the right place. First, download the guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Then once you download it, we have a link to do a webinar if you want to not pay for a consultation. It's not a consultation webinar, but we can talk more detail about stuff. But if you want to schedule a private one, we can set it up for you. No worries. Thank you, everyone. It was a lot of fun popping in there, talking with y'all. I got to go. I got to put the kids to sleep. But until next one, we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, for our regular time to answer these questions. So I'm back again, 4 p.m. Pacific, all these same channels. Look forward to seeing you soon. God bless. Be safe, and have a good night.